In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI.
This is Dan the Dad, and you should listen to Raw and Order or you're grounded.
Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Booking Institute. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe, and audio only right now because he was just getting set up.
But I'm going back.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Just good. I'm licking peanut butter ice cream off my shirt. Homemade peanut butter ice cream off my shirt. So I suppose that's pretty cool.
Why not on camera, man? Jeez. That's the moneymaker shot.
Yes. Homemade peanut butter ice cream. The low sugar or no sugar.
It's
low
the
carb.
licking part, man. This is Galaxy Brain here.
Galaxy Brain, bro.
We gotta market this shit. No JLB today. Something about fucking his eye or something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
Eye fuckery. I'm gonna
good luck on your eye fucking, man. This is our fantasy booking show. So if you're new here, the rules are going to be simple. We're going to take turns challenging each other to book some unlikely and often sometimes impossible scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We don't discuss them in advance, mostly because we haven't thought of them yet. We make them up on the fly. Before we get into the fantasy booking, though, I like to remind everyone that Raw and Order is part of the Tatnisco Podcast Network, so you can head on down to the doobly-doos and click that little link for tatnisco.com. Head on over there and check out the other shows on the network. We do go live here Sunday nights and Tuesday nights for two different shows, one just talking wrestling and one doing fantasy booking. And if you're here live on a Tuesday night, you now know which one is the Tuesday night, which one is the Sunday night one. So,
because we're fantasies,
because we are fantasies.
Right? Who's the luchador on the very end?
By the door?
Yeah,
that's El Jefe. He's a fake luchador, but my brother gave him to me for Christmas. Jefe.
Jeff.
Which means handsome. El Jefe. He has a plethora of masks.
Ooh, plethora.
A plethora. Do you know what a plethora is? Anyways,
Jesus.
Have you ever seen Three Amigos? Come on, man.
Yes, I have.
These are references to one of the greatest comedy movies of all time.
In all seriousness, though, Airplane.
I said one of. I didn't say it was the greatest, although, I don't know. I love me some Airplane, but there's something about Three Amigos. I mean, the thing with Three Amigos is it had three of the greatest comedy minds of a generation. Martin Short, true. Steve Martin, and Chevy Chase all together in one. But it will always be one of my favorites, one of my top comedy movies of all time. Anyways.
Can I tell you a pun? Can I tell you a pun?
Go for it. I said,
Damn it, you didn't play with me. You're supposed to ask, what's that? It's a series of words.
Nah, you say, we need to get him to a hospital. A hospital? What is it? It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now. Anyways, so before we get into the fantasy booking and all of that stuff, I would like to congratulate Mandy Rose for retaining the NXT Women's Championship tonight, despite the absolutely nasty fall she had on the
On the
a
belt
week ago
a week ago.
on
Yeah.
the belt. That thing looked horrendous. And then I also would like to say how excited I am that Index is probably back.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Lots of rumors, man. That rumor wheel is spinning about B-Dubs, and I'm just going to refer to him as B-Dubs until we know what character we're getting.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's gonna be Bray Wyatt if he comes back to WWE, right? And just which version of Bray Wyatt?
Yeah.
Is he gonna be the Fiend Bray Wyatt? Is he gonna go back to the old Bray Wyatt? Is he gonna come up with something entirely new?
Are they going to string this thread together? Are they going to finally sew the whole fabric together? Shall we say sew the mask apart so we can see behind it?
Who knows? Who
You know,
indeed knows?
Are those both dreams of Swamp Bray?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to pretend Fiend Bray didn't happen and just go back to Swamp Bray.
It was terribly ruined.
Yeah, but
I've been gone for 3 years. It wasn't 3 years. You were here as the. What are you talking about?
But the weird stuff happening backstage continued on Raw, and also continued to not get mentioned. And that's what's kind of surprising about it. Is
I love long-term story building.
Well, yeah, long-term story building. I love it. WWE is not known for subtlety, right?
Correct.
And they've been remarkably subtle with this. You know, there was a trash can on fire, and the announcers didn't even say, "Oh my goodness, there's a trash can on fire."
Boy, this is a garbage fire of an episode.
But anyways, let's get into the fantasy booking. I always open it up to see if you want to go first, or if you would like me to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll come on camera for this.
Take it away.
Take it away, way. I have a delicious cohiba that I've been waiting a while to get, and I'm wondering if I'm going to crack into it tonight. Probably not. Anyway, hashtag still not sponsored. I would be fine with being sponsored by tobacco, by the way. Big Tobacco can pay us. It's fine.
Pay you.
Smarks would never smoke a cohiba. Or anything, for that matter, at all.
Not my jam, man.
I mean, we know about your meth problem, but you shoot that up.
It's heroin, thank you very much.
Heroin.
Can't you tell?
Your
By my heroin chic.
thin figure.
Hmm.
Obviously I don't want to go into future booking. I am really liking where wrestling's heading right now, and so I don't want to go into future booking. But I don't mind booking the past. So I'm going to have you build a storyline. I'm going to randomly select using a spreadsheet. Oh, hold on. Got to get out my spreadsheets. Randomly select a wrestler and create a new one. Blank. There we go. A wrestler, its era, what wrestler we're going to put that era in, a current day wrestler, what era we're going to put that in, and a prop for their storyline. Meaning you could get stuck with a plunger in their storyline. Do you understand the goal here?
I understand the goal. I'm not happy about it, but I understand it.
So we're going to do 6 of these. We're going to together randomly choose the wrestlers. So what are the wrestlers? I started with Mox. Mox is the first one I put on there.
I don't know.
Okay, Omega.
Sure, great.
Hey, you pick one.
I mean, are we doing generational or are we doing
All
I
of
think
the wrestlers are going to be current. These
current
6.
generation? Okay. Um, Gargano.
I love that we call him Carter.
I actually said it to my coworker at my job, and he looked at me funny. And I was like, Gargano. It's
I wasn't it mispronounced by an interviewer somewhere or something?
I
Isn't
don't
that where we
know.
got that from?
I honestly don't know.
Okay, so I've picked Mox Omega. You picked Gargano. I'll do my third one, and then you have to do 2. I'm gonna do Seth Franklin Rollins. So what are the other 2?
Um, Kota Ibushi. And um, Orange Cassidy.
Perfect. Okay, I have first PG WWE. So the 94 era, which I think has a different name, but 90 to 95 WWE. Pick an era, bud.
Oh, I didn't know I had to pick an era. I thought you were doing
sorry.
eras. So, I mean, how many eras are there?
There's easily 6.
Then those 6 eras. I don't know. Fucking
There's a tiny toad in my basement. Eat the spiders, bud.
yeah, do it.
I have no clue where those guys come in from.
Attitude era, I guess. I don't know.
I will put NWO WCW. Obviously, that predates Vince Russo.
Modern era.
I will put Hulk 80s. Or Golden Era is probably what I should put. Golden Era WWE. Modern what? Modern what's the company line?
Oh, WWE.
We only have one non-WWE here.
Well, because when I think of eras, I only think of WWE as eras. Yeah, AEW has been around 3 whole years. It hasn't had time for eras.
Okay.
WCW had effectively 2 eras.
Well, they had 3. They had Russo, NWO, and pre-NWO.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider Russo an era because it was only 2.5 years.
It was the era that fucking killed them.
I think it was just a continuation. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Russo didn't kill WCW. The problem started long before
facilitated
Russo.
it.
He just didn't do anything to save them, and hence the problem. So I don't. Do we have all of our eras yet?
Nope, you need one more.
fucking ruthless aggression, I guess.
Okay. And props. This is the part you're gonna fucking hate.
You're right. No, I hate all of it, so,
Okay, I'll do tables first. Careful about your sass there, feller.
I've checked my sass, and my sass is doing just fine.
Obviously, it's in full contact.
Mm-hmm. It was refilled at one point.
What's that?
My sass, I got it refilled.
Oh,
I'm fully loaded on sass.
yes, you are. I said tables.
Golf clubs.
Baseball bats.
Extension cords.
Full-size monitors. You know, the ones at the table. Not the new iPad bullshit.
I should be snarky and be like half-size monitors.
Suppose if you want to do that.
Giant-sized monitors.
I may change mine if you keep being sassy. I might go to that plunger I was talking about.
I'm surprised it's not already on there. Mouse traps.
Ooh, I like that one. And randomize the last range. Data. Randomize. Perfect. Your first challenge is Kota Ibushi in modern WWE and extension cords. How does that gimmick work?
Okay, so I'm doing the gimmick. Okay.
Yeah, book his gimmick and how he does it and all of it. Obviously, the extension cords are going to come into play more than average. Kota Ibushi, modern WWE. What's up? Is this on?
Is this still on? Kota Ibushi with extension cords, and you said modern era?
Modern era. WWE.
Modern era. Okay. So I can't do just like, hey, this is the electrician or anything like that, because that doesn't fit modern era.
He's the one they call Dr. Strange Hair. He's the one that makes me feel alright. It might be a she. We do not know.
Now, see, I look at that and I go to Dr. Strangelove and how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb. So that's where I go with it.
We've already mentioned you were a nerd earlier.
That's a classic movie. Top 5 comedies?
Isn't that Idiocracy?
The movie I just named? No, it's a fucking classic. I think it's Peter Sellers. Well, it's literally titled Doctor Strange Hair. Doctor Strange Love. See, I'm all confused by this. Doctor Strange Love, and then how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb. And the very famous scene of someone riding a nuclear bomb down. Anyways, long story.
Oh, I have seen that one. Or I've heard of it, at least.
Yep. Top 5 comedy all time.
Debatable.
I think you would find not too many people debate it, but that's you. God, I'm trying to think. I think it's a hardcore gimmick. So he likes to do a lot of hardcore matches. Uh his gimmick is based on he uses the extension cord at various points during the match to tie the person up and then beat them with something else like trash can or
Plunger?
if it's there, kendo sticks, whatever he can to beat people up. But like he'll use the extension cord to wrap their arms around like the ring post or something so they can't defend themselves. Then he'll do like coast to coast or rolling sentons into trash cans in them in the corner, things like that.
Okay. Any feuds that you have in mind?
I mean, he's gonna feud with Kevin Owens, just
Obviously.
because those matches would be fucking fire. Um, he will feud with Finn Balor probably. Because you gotta still remember it's still Kota Ibushi, so it's still work rate heavy.
So Roman didn't work.
Yeah, so Roman, I mean, he could have a
Roman
match with
can.
Roman, but also if he's gonna be using this to tie people up and stuff like that, you're probably talking heel Kota Ibushi. At
Yes.
which point, having him feud directly with Roman doesn't make as much sense, you know?
Sure.
With the heels, it makes more sense for him to go after faces. Although I then I point out that I said Finn Balor and fucking Kevin Owens, who are both going heel right now, but
That's all right.
in the rakes.
You can do heel versus heel. It's okay. All right, your second challenge is Kenny Omega, Golden Era WWE, which I think works, and Mousetraps.
And by golden era, you mean like pre-Attitude Era?
I mean the 80s,
80s, okay.
not first PG.
That makes Mousetraps a lot harder to work in. I mean, they can't work into the matches themselves that way because even though it was pre-PG, they just didn't do
Sure, but you could have
really
him
great matches.
managed by like Mr. Fuji, who throws a mousetrap at him instead of spraying mist or chalk.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's more, his gimmick is the Orkin Man. So it's full on career gimmick. He's the pest control. Pest control Kenny Omega. And so he comes out, and when he comes out carrying a big comically large work case, like toolbox that's got mouse traps and sprays and one of those big pump sprayers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got to carry one of those out.
Yeah, I like that you're not limiting yourself just to the mousetraps.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
and we already know Omega can do heels, so
yeah. And the pump sprayer actually can play into it a little bit more than a mousetrap because that can be something with a distraction. People get sprayed in the eyes with the pump sprayer, and then they can't see, and then he hits them with the one-winged angel.
Fair enough.
Wayne.
And primary feud? Or feuds? Or partners, people he likes to team up with.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
That's a great choice.
His primary. Because Steamboat always had the all even though you're not, but all American, like, boy next
Good guy.
door, good guy sort of gimmick. And so I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. This is the one I most look forward to on this list, and that is Mox in NWO WCW with full size monitors. And I just think he fucking fits in that era, man. Do you feel like you just described fucking, like, that describes DDP? Different character a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, see, the problem is, as much as you're liking the idea of this, the problem is, Mox in WCW in that era, he becomes the main rival for the Nasty Boys and fucking Public Enemy. I don't like that. I don't like Moxley going against those.
see, I see him as a rival for DDP or really Goldberg. I could see him just coming out and
Not Mox the way he currently wrestles. Mox leans way too much on, hardcore.
so bring it with you. Have him hardcore.
And in WCW in that era, hardcore is fucking.
That's true.
Yeah.
But he could elevate that, I think.
Dotty dotty, we like to party. Lottie dotty dotty. Rocco Rock and fucking. Can't even remember the name of the other guy. And
Johnny Grunge.
Johnny Grunge? Yeah, Johnny something or other. Hey, Fernando's here.
Welcome, Fernando.
He says, Pied Piper Kenny Omega uses traps as a distraction and his flute as a weapon.
This one time at band camp, Kenny Omega hit a guy with a flute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So here's the deal. This is a match I'd love to have seen, right? Would have been great if it had been able to have happened. But I just, like...
You're so negative because there's these full-size monitors involved.
Yeah, full-size monitors. Okay. No, I'm negative because I remember WCW and people like... Because here's the deal. In WCW... They only started doing hardcore after WWF started doing it. And then it was just a knockoff version of it. And in fact, I'm going to... God, this is going to seem like I'm dogging on Mox a bit here. It happened in NWO era WCW for a brief moment. It just wasn't Mox. It was the Sandman. Only
I don't see how that's dogging on him.
He was called Hardcore Hack in WCW. And you know what he did? He languished in the hardcore division, where he went against Rocco Rock and fucking Johnny Grunge and the Nasty Boys, and he did have, I think, a match against La Parka when La Parka was the chairman.
I wish you could take this more enjoyably, but okay.
It just the idea of Mox in this era actually just makes me sad.
Well, you're sad for you. Seth Franklin Rollins, first PG WWE era. So Bret Hart, Diesel, Duke the Dumpster Droese, a little bit of Hogan, some Yokozuna.
Thing is, it doesn't actually make me sad because I think Seth Rollins would actually fit in really well in that era.
Yes, Mox and Mox rules match. That's what you do. You have him take over the flock.
But then what about Raven?
Well, That's part of the story, bud.
What about me? What about Raven?
Anyway,
No, it's Rollins in PG era actually fits really well
with golf clubs,
with golf clubs. That's fine. He fits really well in that era because here's the deal. He cut his teeth in WWE in their second PG era, right? So he's already PG for the most part. He can still be the one that pushes the boundaries, so he can still have the stomp and stuff like that. But now he can just be more flamboyant. I'm thinking we lean heavily into his current fashion gimmick. But instead of fashion, it's golf fashion. So he'd be wearing all the plaid pants and the golf shoes and the weird golf shirts and the stupid hat.
Sure.
And then the golf clubs.
Just fucking turn him into Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, effectively, yeah. He'd be oh fuck, what was Chavo's gimmick for a while?
Oh yeah.
Fucking
I remember that. That's fun.
I'm blanking on Chavo's gimmick
Anyway,
entirely.
moving forward.
Yeah. So I mean, effectively, he'd be that in the first PG era. He'd be a heel, of course, because he's a rich guy, and rich guys are always bad guys. In I think Kerwin White. There we go. Thank you, Fernando.
Chavo is Kerwin White.
Kerwin White. He would be Kerwin White earlier on. Golf clubs probably I wouldn't have in PG era. They wouldn't actually impact any matches directly, but he would have a caddy, and so the caddy could be kind of like Cornette with the tennis racket, out there.
Okay.
During the match, picking out the right racket or the right club, maybe occasionally. When the ref's back is turned, thwacking someone on the back with the club or tripping them. That'd be actually a really good thing with the club. Reach out and trip them.
I like it.
And everything, so.
I like it.
Feud-wise.
Do you use actual Cornette?
No. Fuck Cornette.
I'd rather not.
I mean, he'd probably want you to, so.
No, he'd want me to fuck his wife while he watched. Fucking touchy. Weird, man.
Touchy.
No, I'd rather not.
But I don't know who I'd have him feud with. I know he'd be at least semi partners with early Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Ooh. You had me at hello.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'd do there.
$1 Million Man, maybe?
Yeah. In fact, there could be a whole gimmick where the vignettes of them out playing golf and betting obscene amounts of money per hole,
This current laugh and everything.
Exactly. And what do you say? $10,000 per hole? 10,000. Let's make it 100.
That would be fun. I would actually enjoy that gimmick. Next one, Orange Cassidy, Attitude Era tables. Keep in mind that Orange Cassidy is slightly smaller than Jericho was during the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
Not significantly smaller. You don't have to tear him down for his size.
No.
And I truly do think Lazy Guy works in every era.
Yeah. I don't think I changed his gimmick very much at all.
No.
To be perfectly honest. I think the tables play in with him just like sleeping on tables backstage. And like, so for his matches, sometimes they just literally just carry the table out to ringside. And it's not until the
Bell
bell
rings and he
rings
rings up.
that he's like, whoa, oh,
Oh.
and he rolls into the ring. And then Orange Cassidy versus Spoke Dudley. I'm gonna go ahead and assume you meant Spike Dudley, but that's Fernando's
I don't want to
suggestion.
regulate Orange Cassidy to that. I like the idea of Orange Cassidy, Jericho, Orange Cassidy, maybe even The Rock. I think that works really well with The Rock doing it. What's your name, fella? Or whatever he says. And him going, oh, whatever. Like actually getting the one up because of that.
Yeah. But still, Spike Dudley doing the acid drop through the table on the outside on Orange Cassidy. Spike Dudley going to pin him outside and Orange Cassidy's just asleep.
He hears the slap and wakes up like, oh, what? Oh, jeez.
If you haven't seen pre AEW Orange Cassidy, there's a really good match, him versus Gentleman Jervis, where Gentleman Jervis puts him in the sleeper hold, and it really just rocks him to sleep like a baby until he goes to sleep, and then he lays him down on the ground and carefully puts his hands on top of him so the referee can do the 1, 2.
Oh yeah, I have seen that one.
And then
he's
the referee,
like, be quiet. He's like, quiet.
Yeah, quiet. And then the referee gets 1, 2. Like, no, don't sneeze. Don't sneeze. Chew. And then Orange Cassidy wakes up. Funny little thing.
It's a very funny match. You are correct. So that's where you're at with Orange Feud, or are you doing the stuff we've already mentioned? The Rock, Stone Cold.
Or Spike Dudley's not the feud. It's just like a match that's fun to see.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I'm not saying anything against The Rock and all that stuff, but I have this whole like in my head that Val Venus probably would take a lot of offense to Orange Cassidy's lackadaisical approach to life.
The whole right to censor would.
Mm-hmm.
During that era. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last one is Johnny Gargano. Ruthless Aggression era with baseball bats. To which I say, why the fuck not?
Yeah. I mean, the unfortunate thing is this is one of my weakest spots because the Attitude Era is where I missed the most.
Ruthless Aggression era, you mean?
Excuse me, Ruthless Aggression Era is where I missed the most. But I don't know. Baseball bats and Johnny Gargano sounds like it fits in pretty well. Ruthless Aggression Era.
I'm fighting like my hero. Cactus Jack.
Fighting like my hero.
They still
John Cena. Who? John Cena. The guy in the black short shorts? That guy's your hero? He just came out, man.
You like him, but he's American.
I agree, Fernando. Orange Cassidy versus Bob Holly would also be a good feud.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He'd be, especially right after the Tough Enough, where we found out that he's kind of an asshole.
Yes.
Bob Sparkplug. Holly.
But
Anyway, what are you doing with Gargano?
give me a second because I have to. It's like I say, the ruthless aggression era is kind of my weak spot. I didn't watch as much, so I don't remember who all was involved in it.
Bow, bow, wow, 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 wow. Smile, you're on candid camera.
Orton would be a good feud for him.
Ooh, for Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball bat from out of nowhere.
Yeah, he could come out and be the anti-legend. Like he's like,
Killer.
listen, I'm a nobody, right? I'm just a guy from Cleveland, but I don't like you coming out here and killing all the legends.
I don't blame you. I like that one.
And so he'd be the every guy going against the legend killer. Also, would be fun to see some in his prime CM Punk versus Gargano matches.
Ooh, that would be a little bit fun. All right, that was my crappy little one. Hopefully, you've come up with a better one. This is more fun with 3 people. I will admit that.
It is more fun. It's also more fun with 3 people because I'd been planning all day to do something that needed 3 people. So now I've got to punt. And so instead, I am going to go. You don't like booking the future because you're liking the way things are going. But I'm going to force you to book the future.
Because you can.
Because I can. And here's the deal. We've got a lot of speculation. Mentioned it earlier. B-dubs.
I love me some B-dubs.
I want you
Mango
to book
habanero.
how B-dubs comes it back to WWE.
I think I kind of did it a little bit. I enjoy the idea of Swamp Bray Wyatt coming back and pretending, and you did a little bit, and pretending the Fiend slash Firefly Funhouse was part of a coma he was in or something along those lines. Maybe that's what the car accident was. It was the car accident he had so many years ago in a time machine that put him in a coma.
You know, it is wibbly wobbly.
Wibbly wobbly. Anyway.
Doctor Who.
So I would have him come back as Swamp Bray Wyatt or Pastor Bray or whatever, Wyatt Family Bray. I would call Eric Redbeard and I would get a hold of Braun Strowman and I would just, and if Braun didn't want to come back, I'd find a different monster. Because apparently you don't have to be good if you're big in WWE.
Yep. Sure don't. You can just be Kali or fucking
have it be
Lars
almost and call Braun. Like whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. I don't even care. But just additional muscle. And I have him cut those fire promos, and I don't have him lose to John Cena or everybody that he comes up against.
What?
Yeah, crazy.
No. You can't not have him lose all the time.
But then I have Eric Redbeard be like, you should, you should do the thing that you did, you know, when you kind of went a little bit nuts and just basically like Fight Club level. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, um, disillusionment for a couple years. It's like I had a dream I was in like a children's show with puppets. No, no. You could do that. Loomis and the Wyatt family. I'd be okay with that. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, um, but I just have Bray go back on a tear and challenge for very random hedonistic behaviors that he deems as hedonistic, not others, or not any particular um, any particular doctrine, so to say. But you know the way he did the first time, and so you know MVP for manipulating the mind of a beautiful man, and almost have him go after Seth Rollins for being a man of materialistic thoughts and things. Boy, I feel like I'm kind of right in that one, actually. Um, have a woman in his faction, not Alexa Bliss. She could be infatuated with him. That would be interesting. She could be the one who's like, hey, are you gonna bring him back? And he'd be like, what are you talking about? And just carry the, I don't know what you're talking about for like 2 years. You can have him challenge Roman and be like, your family's table and my family's table. They say blood is thicker than water. But kinship doesn't have to be established by the blood. You know, those promos cut themselves.
Okay.
And maybe have him occasionally drift. Have him be like, have him occasionally drift into, conceptually into the Funhouse, but without bringing the Fiend back. I don't think the Fiend was the benefit of the Firefly Funhouse era. I think Firefly Funhouse was the benefit. And so just have him be like, I had a fascinating dream. A dream where I wore a sweater. You know? Reaching the future generations of the Wyatt family.
I've said it before. I firmly believe that they've messed up by making the Fiend supernatural. He should have been psychological. It should have been the two halves of Bray Wyatt's psyche. The peaceful, loving children's show host side and the psychopathic murder side. And so when he came out to the ring as the Fiend, they should have Hannibal Lecter wheeled him to the ring on a cart, chained up, and let him go. And then the Firefly Funhouse was just a look inside his mind, the side of his mind that was all nice, and not a real thing not a real place people could go.
I also deeply enjoy the idea of fixing the Hell in a Cell. I know there's a lot of people who don't want to see that again, but if you have Swamp Bray and that Seth Rollins feud, your materialistic ways shall be the death of you. And Bray or Seth challenge him. Well, I've already beat you. I beat you in Hell in a Cell, and I'll do it again. And this monstrosity seems familiar, type thing. I think I mean, the fact is, Bray Wyatt can cut a promo like he's JR in his prime on on play-by-play. Like, it's just that good how well he cuts promos. And so you just have him cut those promos. And he doesn't have to be supernatural. He doesn't have to have any special powers. But a recognition of the fact that he was gone, but we saw things, and he doesn't remember these things. He does in the delves of his mind, but he doesn't remember them, as top of mind. So he doesn't remember a fiend. He doesn't remember. He just knows that he gets haunted by it on occasion. So occasionally you can have "Let me in" play, and him just be like, "What?" Have him be confused by the existence of the fact that there was a fiend and there was a Firefly Funhouse Bray.
Okay. So
blur the lines of the dreams.
In the related, but not really related, but possibly related, I'm adding to this the news that Trish Stratus has confirmed that she is back to wrestling. She's going to be wrestling house shows and special events and stuff like that with the hopes to eventually come back to the main roster. So, how would you handle Trish Stratus on the main roster in today?
I don't think she's the caliber of the athlete that the women are today. I really hate saying that because she did open a lot of doors, but I don't think she's the caliber of the athlete that they are today.
I agree with you. However, it apparently is happening. So,
a faction of sorts would probably be the route I would go, where she doesn't have to take all the beatings. I mean, if we're honest, she's been out of it for nearly 20 years, at least 15, barring the Charlotte thing. We haven't really seen heel Trish other than as a manager, and her manager heel role was fairly good with TNA.
And to clarify for those new,
it's Test and Albert.
That was Test and Albert, not TNA as in the wrestling company.
Or Tits and Ass. However, that's what they were going with. And
yeah,
having
no,
her
it obviously was playing into it, but it was.
So I probably get the occasional feud, but I don't know how much television free or cable based television I do. Streaming based television would probably be where I would focus her. She can be on some pre-matches and stuff. I don't have a whole lot of belief. I saw the Charlotte match. I saw it. That's the facts. And for that reason, I'm not. I'm not. I think she's one of the best from that era, but I'm not. Yeah, I mean,
That's what I said this to my coworker when I saw the news today. I said, here's the deal: I don't want to take anything away from what she did in that era, right? She was a pioneer in that era. She was one of the few women on WWE TV that actually wrestled, right? Her and Lita were more or less it. Yes, there were some others like Jacqueline and
Holly,
Molly Holly. But for the most part, it was Trish, Lita, and then
China.
And China barely did the women's division. She was mostly doing men's stuff. But
apparently
she
was
then
tough
Stacey
to work
Keibler,
with. Jericho said so.
But then you get Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson and fucking bra and panties matches and the Miss Kitty or the cat or whatever they fucking called her this week.
Yep.
And it was bra and panties matches and titillation. And in the end, as good as she was in that era, I don't think she can hang with the modern wrestlers on the regular, right? I don't think Charlotte Flair would would be. I mean, Charlotte Flair would be able to carry her to a good match.
Well, and that's
But
the
that's
thing.
the point. Is
So,
it would be carrying her.
yeah, I mean, the real question you have to ask is, do you get a good match out of Aaliyah? And you don't. The bottom line is you don't.
Yeah.
If you have Lita in a match with Aaliyah, you get a better match. But we've seen Lita recently and been like, well, that's not as exciting as it was 15 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, here.
If you get Becky Lynch in a match with Aaliyah, you can still get a good. You're not going to get a fire match because Aaliyah's involved, but you can still get a good match.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna go down the list, and we're just gonna say yes or no. Do we think this would be a good match? And I'm talking
C plus or above.
Yeah, C plus or above. Alexa Bliss versus Trish.
I think Alexa could pull out a high C plus.
Yeah.
Or
Oscar.
B minus.
Yes.
Yes.
Bailey.
I think that ends up being a squash though, maybe. Who?
Yeah, but so Bailey. Yes.
Yes.
Becky Lynch. Yes.
Yes.
Bianca Belair. Probably.
That's a squash, probably.
But then now we get Carmella.
No.
No.
And again, this is because Carmella's a B minus wrestler.
Well, and the thing is, it's even more this, right? Because we're talking about not just the skill that they have, but the skill that they have in lifting up the other.
These are similar styles that would actually be okay. Unfortunately, it would become very bra and panties resemblant, even though it wouldn't be a bra and panties match.
But so, and that's the deal. Is Carmella is the one who can be lifted into a good match, but doesn't lift their opponent into good matches, right?
Correct.
Dakota Kai, maybe
better than Carmella,
but still, I don't necessarily think that. Dana Brooke,
no, that's a D match.
I don't have faith that Dana Brooke can lift her through it. Doudrop,
that's a squash,
possibly, but it'd be a squash. Io Sky, yes, I think Io has the ability.
Io's that good, yeah.
Right. Nikki ASH, no,
maybe. Probably in the Dakota Kai category.
Zelina Vega.
Nikki really does have to rely on her character. That's the hard part there too.
And her character right now is crap.
Yes.
Right. Zelina Vega. I don't think I don't think so. I like Zelina, but I don't think she's the one who carries someone to a great
I don't
match.
think Trish Stratus can take her Poison Rana. That's what I think.
Rhea Ripley, maybe, but again, it would be
Probably
one of those
squash.
squash things. Tamina, no. We move to SmackDown. Aaliyah, we've mentioned. No. B-Fab doesn't have the experience to do it.
Nope.
Charlotte can do it. Lacey Evans.
And gave us a B match. Did not give us an A match.
Yeah. But Lacey Evans, I don't think she's got the ability to lift someone. Liv Morgan. I love me some Liv, but
nope.
I don't think so. Naomi, no, if she's actually still with WWE. That's still unconfirmed. Wikipedia editors.
Sasha, yes, good.
Natalia, maybe.
That would probably be the best example of 2C or below wrestlers who can put on a better than their ability match.
Raquel Rodriguez,
not yet.
Doesn't have the experience yet to do it. Ronda Rousey, no. Ronda needs lifted to a good match. Sasha, we both agree, but Sasha could probably wrestle a paper bag and make it a...
Yeah, Sasha is the Kenny Omega of women's wrestling.
Shayna Baszler.
Becky can cut a promo against anybody and make it entertaining.
Yeah.
And Sasha can wrestle a match against a mop and win and make it good.
Baszler?
She could lose to a mop and we'd enjoy it.
Baszler, I don't know if she's got the ability yet to lift someone. I don't know. Shotzi? No. Sonya Deville? Probably not. Xia Li, they haven't given us any reason to think that. Right. Fernando thinks that Trish and Liv could make a really good match. Like I said, I love Liv, but so far in the recent past, Liv has had to be carried to good matches.
I
rather than
think that's a
one
good
carry.
pairing for a reason to have Trish there as
I
a
think
mentor.
Liv could be a mentor, be a manager for, or be
Trish.
Trish could be a manager for Liv. That'd be fine.
I think that'd be fire.
Now here's where Trish could probably help out more. NXT. You got Alba Fire, the former Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
I think she could manage a good thing. Amari Miller, Ariana Grace, Blair Davenport, which is the former B Priestley, Cora Jade. She's young and upcoming, but I think she could do good. Elektra Lopez could learn from Trish. Fallon Henley, Gigi Dolan, Indy Hartwell could learn. I mean, these are all people I think who could learn from. There's only a few on the NXT roster that I think
elevate her.
Elevate her, right? Ivy Nile could learn from her. JC Jane could learn. Katana Chant, the former Casey Catanzara, she could learn from Trish. Caden Carter could probably learn. Kiana James, don't know anything about her. Lash Legend could learn. Mandy Rose is the only one that I don't think Trish has a lot to teach. But I think they would be a decent match, right? Yeah. Nikita Lyons, or Lyons, however it's pronounced. She doesn't have anything to bring to the table for Trish Stratus. Roxanne Perez, which is the former Roxy, the former Ring of Honor Women's Champion. But I think
they could elevate one another there.
Yeah, I think is Roxy is still really young.
Zoe Starks, I have to agree with Fernando on. I think that would be in that Mandy Rose category.
Yeah, I will let you guys agree on that. Not give my opinion.
I know you don't like her.
She just does nothing for me. Like, I watch her and I'm like, she's effectively Natalia for me. Like,
man, I feel like she's grit. I feel like when I see her,
I recognize the skill.
I see a non-gimmick Darby Allin, man. Just grit.
And the thing is, I don't even see that because she to me has no charisma, and Darby thrives on charisma, right? But we'll get past that. I'm not on Zoe Starks. Saray, maybe just because she brings Japanese influence to it. She had a career in Japan before she came here. Sloane Jacobs doesn't bring any. Tatum Paxley, who the fuck is this? Thea Hall again. Tiffany Stratton again. Valentina Feroz. Wendy Chu. I guess it could be
I feel like that'd be a fun match.
Yeah, a pajamas versus ring gear match.
Hey, that would be one of the few matches I'd be like, oh yeah, no. Lingerie match and have Trish come out and be like, I'm not doing these old fashioned lingerie matches, and then have Wendy Chu come out and be like, I did.
Yeah.
These are my PJs.
I think it'd be really funny because if she was in a bra and panties match and she wins by default, but they can't like get that off her, it zips up and it's well made. It just doesn't rip off.
Yeah, I think I do struggle with a Trish Stratus return. I'm not saying it won't be good. I'm not saying she's not athletically capable of it. I don't see it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, it's happening. Whether it makes it to TV or not, she may just be a fill-in on the touring circuit and never make it to TV. Who knows?
Which, by the way, great way to sell out,
Mm-hmm. Well, they need what they can if they're charging $10,000 for a seat at WrestleMania. Fuck
And
that.
that's on Ticketmaster. That's the actual
Yeah, that's
price.
not
It's not a
reseller.
scalp price.
That's the actual.
Might be worth investing $10,000 to get yourself 12.
Yeah, you got $10,000 right now. You buy them and then resell them for markup.
Big markup. Holy smokes. That's
But
hard cam side and everything.
I don't know about you, but I ain't got $10,000. Not right now to.
Yeah, the path by which I got 10,000, I don't think I would wish on anybody, but we both have lived that. So.
I mean, I might eventually once probate clears have it, but I still won't use it to buy fucking WrestleMania ringside seats on
the
the
only reason I would do it
speculation.
again is the assumption that I'm going to be able to sell them for 12 or more.
Yes. And again, that's speculation. It's probably a safe bet, but it is not a guaranteed bet.
I think you turn around and put them right online for it. Just leave them there till you get fortunes.
No, I agree with you, but at the same point, there's every chance. You know, it's likely you'd make money off it. I'm not saying it's not likely, but there is a chance that people are just like, no, I'm not paying $10,000 for that seat. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
And that
no $10,000
in the end, you
dump it to make
dump it just to make something
2,000.
back.
Yeah.
Like you'll find $8,000 for a seat. Okay.
Well, and then you kind of have to buy a segment of them. I mean, if you could buy a block of 4, you could get your 40,000 back and have in 3, and then
yeah,
you know.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly the thing. You just buying one seat, it's gonna be harder to sell because everyone's going with a friend or a family member, right? And so they're looking for 2 seats, and if they don't have the ability to buy both those seats in a row, they're not going to use those.
So,
like,
any other returns you've got?
That's the only return that's been confirmed. I mean, we got Dexter Loomis, who's back. You know, Ezekiel will eventually be back. His dad was pissed yesterday. Did you see that part? That part was one of my favorite parts of yesterday's show. They showed a picture and then an interview in the aftermath of Kevin Owens' attack on Ezekiel a couple weeks ago. And let me see if I can find the picture because it's.
Walk with Ezekiel. Walk with Ezekiel. I'm not a fan of wireless charging. My phone feels so hot.
It can get that way. Is your phone in a case or?
Yeah, it's in a case.
Cases can cause wireless to heat up because the
distance
it has to travel, so it puts more power to it. See if I get it. I don't want the tiny version. I want a big.
I want the tiny version. The version that's tiny.
This is one of my favorite things. So they showed a picture of the local medical facility that Ezekiel was taken to after being beaten up by there it is. Beaten up by KO. And so here you've got Ezekiel and his whole family around him in the hospital.
Jesus.
So there's Elias in the blue shirt. That's his younger brother, Elrod. His dad, Ernie Jr. They didn't give his mom's name or his youngest brother's name. I will point out you can't. It's hard to read in this one, but if you find the clear thing, it actually says his name is Elias Sampson, which is a nice throwback. Or Ezekiel Sampson to when it was Elias Sampson before they just dropped him down to Elias. And then
That's
they had
fun.
a fiery promo from Ezekiel's dad, Ernie Jr., about how if I ever get my hands on you, Kevin Owens.
I love that you can even see that it's a skin cap.
Yeah, it was so brilliant. I love how you could actually see that this is just a room backstage where they're like, let's throw some names up on a whiteboard, throw a light bar up. I mean that is very likely not even a bed that he's on. It's probably just
Probably a
like
table.
a table that they draped a sheet over.
Well, hence the 3 pillows.
Yeah, 3 pillows to sit him up.
I do. I also love that. That's not bad green screen work.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Ernie Jr., Ezekiel's dad.
It made me laugh when it happened. Made me laugh really good.
Well, shall we do our game? It's going to be a short night,
Yeah,
but
we're gonna probably do a shorter night, so let's just go ahead and do pick or pass. So I'm gonna start off. This will be funny. This will be for fun. Pick or pass. Elias or Ezekiel.
I'll take Elias. Oh, real quickly. Sorry. Gable Stevenson.
That'll be
Like
good.
my
Rookie
third
card
one
to
of
have.
him.
Have a lot of them. That'll be a decent rookie card to have.
Great Khali.
Yay.
Dave Batista. Maybe it's easier to read if I hold it way back here.
Possibly.
It is. Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could do that.
Your camera doesn't like to autofocus up, so when you get it too close, it doesn't focus on. But Roman Reigns.
There we go. Sorry.
Was that just a 4-pack? So that Roman Reigns was at the hollow
Nope.
prismatic?
Nope. There was nothing special in that pack.
There. Look at that Roman Reigns one again. Because one of their things that they do is it looks and everything, or it might be the Gable Stevenson. It looks identical to one of the regular prismatic ones, but it's got kind of a easiest way to describe.
The hollow triangles.
No, not the triangles, just the sheen. It's just if you look at it, it's got.
Oh, it is. It's a darker sheen.
Well, yeah, and let it like in the light, let it catch the light, and you'll see.
Okay, and it doesn't throw off a rainbow, or it throws off a rainbow.
It throws off a rainbow, right?
Yep,
So,
that is the Roman Reigns one. Is that? Yep.
Yes. So it's a hollow, so it's still a special one, and Roman Reigns as a special one isn't a bad one to have. So
no.
Okay, so you're
Most
taking
recent
Elias.
forever champ. Sorry, I'm taking Elias. I'm giving you Ezekiel or let's stick with E names. Evan Bourne. Ezekiel or Evan Bourne?
That's a tougher one than it really has any rights to be. I'll take Evan Bourne.
Okay.
So, Ezekiel or Ernest the Cat Miller.
I will take Ernest the Cat Miller. Big Papa Dump. Best feud he ever had was
fair.
Big Papa Pump feud. I deeply enjoyed that feud. So you have Ezekiel or Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to take Ezekiel that time. Not that I have anything against
One's
Eddie
got a
Edwards,
champ.
but Eddie Edwards kind of has a limit, has a ceiling, and I think Ezekiel's ceiling could potentially be higher. You know, I mean, he comes from a good bloodline. Um, so Eddie Edwards or um,
Specifically,
it's a little tougher. Eddie Edwards or Eddie Edwards or Eddie Edwards or Big E.
I will take Big E, and I will give you Eddie Edwards or Eddie Guerrero.
This is Eddie Guerrero. Let's see, that's where I had to.
Well, the one that needs to go up against Eddie Edwards, you have to present because it's the way that we elevate above Eddie Edwards, unless I say specifically or exclusively, which I might say. Because I could pull it off with the next one if you don't give me the one.
Because, like I was saying, the tough thing is because I wanted to do Edge, but you can't do Edge versus Eddie Edwards because then it's definitely Edge. You know what I mean? That's where.
But if you did exclusively Edge today, no, I'm thinking of another Eddie that if I gave it to you, you would, or if you gave it to me, Eddie Edwards would be taken.
Okay, well, we'll see if this works out because Eddie Edwards or Eddie Kingston.
I'll take Eddie Edwards. And I'm going to give you Eddie Kingston or exclusively Edge today.
I still take Edge today.
Okay, that's okay.
So
I can get Eddie Kingston out of here, I think.
Eddie Kingston or jeez, I'm trying to keep it in ease, and I'm totally blanking. Eddie Kingston. Ooh, this will be a good one. Eddie Kingston or Effie.
Who the fuck is Effie?
He's very popular indie wrestler who's former champion in multiple different places.
And that brings us to the end of the Raw and Order podcast.
It sure doesn't. You have to make a choice.
I'll take Eddie Kingston. Meaning we have Effie or Enforcer Arn Anderson.
I'm going to surprise you and take Effie. Effie's going to have a longer career.
That's
Almost
fair.
definitely. Enforcer Arn Anderson or Ethan Page.
Enforcer Arn Anderson. I just love him, man. He has an era about him. Ethan Page or Eric Redbeard.
Ethan Page. Eric Redbeard or Eric Young.
Eric Young. Eric Young. Yeah, I may have just fucking cursed us with Eric Redbeard. Eric Redbeard or Enzo.
That's a good one.
Don't get soft. SAWFT.
You know, the sad thing is, I think I'm gonna take Enzo, and I'm gonna give a reason, but it's simply this: promos. I'm not gonna even lie that Eric Redbeard is a better wrestler in the ring than Enzo.
Ooh, Fernando agreed.
But Enzo gives the better promos and gets the better heat. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And heat is dollar signs. So,
Ooh, I have the next one to go up against whoever you have left, or I have left.
So, Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowe, now known as just Eric from the Viking Raiders.
I will take Eric Redbeard. Eric Rowe versus Evil Uno.
That's a good one. That is a very good one.
I feel like we're just bragging about our ability to know names in wrestling.
Oh, I'm not even gonna front. I'm Wikipediaing shit. Like
I'm
crazy.
looking through my cards now, finally. But I everything I've gotten so far, I've pulled up on my own.
I can tell you I have not. So there's no lying here. Did I get my answer on that? I think I said. Okay, what were the choice again? Eric
Rowe or Evil Uno?
Eric Rowe or Evil Uno. Fuck yeah. Okay, this will be fun. Eric Rowe.
This is who you're taking.
One half of the War Viking Raiders experience machine. So you have Evil Uno or Emi Sakura.
Fucking Evil Uno. You know how I feel about Emi Sakura. She'd have done so much better. So very, 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 very much better had she, when she came out the first time, not come out in her Freddie Mercury setup. Emi Sakura or Evangeline Lilly. And yes, that is just off the top of my head. I believe that is her name, Evangeline Lilly. I believe it was ECW in the 90s. Might have been TNA. Do you remember her? Am I?
Emi Sakura. I don't remember her though, so I'm just throwing one out there. Emi Sakura or
No, Evangeline Lilly or.
Excuse me, yeah, Evangeline Lilly. Okay. Evangeline Lilly or okay, so Evangeline Lilly or fuck, this is getting harder and harder and harder, and so I'm gonna have to do a punt here, and I'm gonna say Evangeline Lilly or Evangeline Lilly or Lacey Evans.
Evans.
I had to twist things to get there, but I did.
I will take Lacey Evans. However, Evangeline Lilly was really good in her indie circuit. You should look her up. I am going to take Lacey Evans. So Evangeline Lilly or I'm going to give you exclusively Eric Bischoff as a wrestler or in the ring.
Okay. Then that's Evangeline Lilly. Because Eric Bischoff sucked in the ring. He sucked. He sucked so bad. So very bad. He would even tell you that. Unless it was a karate championship. And then you'd be like, I fucking ruled.
Yes.
So
He was a black belt.
Easy E or what was his name when you did this? Easy E, any era Easy E, or very specifically the bad Jim Ross knockoff Ed Ferreira.
I'll take Easy E.
I'm fine with this being our last round, and Ed Ferreira just fucking goes down as the last man.
I'm okay. But I'm going to make it a little harder for you. So you have knock off Ed Ferreira or Eugene.
I think it would still be Eugene. I don't know if you remember. Did they call him Oklahoma?
Yes.
Fucking, he was so bad.
I was really hoping.
Oh wait, nope. I've got the one. I've got the one to lose.
I wanted Easy E versus Excalibur.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine because we really have the one to lose. Here's the one to lose, right? Ed Ferreira, or Ed Leslie.
I'll take Brutus.
Fuck you, man.
But I will give you one back just to make it that much easier. Ed Ferreira or Eva Marie.
Guys, it's really not that thing. I'll take Eva Marie.
Wow.
Again, Ed Ferreira was bad. It was a bad Jim Ross impersonation in a time when Jim Ross was actively battling his Bell's palsy.
Yeah. Well, nobody ever claimed that Easy E or Vince had the most couth when they were doing their direct attacks.
That, however, was very definitely during the Vince Russo era.
Yes.
Because Ed Ferrara was his writing partner.
I will also say that I am very impressed with one particular. So there's obviously the first shots fired verbally on show were Triple H to Billy Gunn saying, "You and your Pissant t-shirt company."
Mm-hmm.
I can say, hands down, Max Caster fires shots like a fucking champ, man. They're good. They're relevant. Ass boys retire like Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
He said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
And he is equal opportunity. He has burned Trump. He has burned Biden. Mm-hmm. He's done both sides of the fucking political spectrum. He obviously burns people in the company. He burns people in the competitor's company. Like, this dude is equal opportunity asshole in his burns, and I love it.
Yeah, no, he's been pretty on point with his rhymes recently.
Finger me, daddy ass, or scissor me, daddy ass.
Yeah. Although maybe our knockoff T-shirt should be "Finger me, Papa ass."
Papa butt, big Papa butt.
If we can get those past the copyright, please. Anyways, this has been a shorter episode than normal, and probably not one of our best. I'm going to be honest with you. I apologize to the people.
What is he saying is classless here?
I think he's talking about the Ed Ferreira.
Okay. Yeah, you don't make fun of somebody's disability. You do make fun of a guy who spent $19 million on his creepiness.
Mm-hmm. 10 times as much as he spent on buying WCW.
He only spent $2 million on WCW?
$2 million.
Wow.
The story behind, and here's why I think there was something more going on it. I think there was some, for lack of a better word, insider trading. Because here's the deal. He spent $2 million on it. Eric Bischoff and his partnership
were prepared to offer $5 million.
Way more than that. It was like $20 million. It was but it was contingent on it continuing to have a spot.
Well, and they did go public like less than 2 years after that, so it does make you.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, Fernando was making fun of JR classless. The contingent for Eric Bischoff and his people doing it was that it continued to have TNT and TBS shows, right? That it continued to have wrestling on TV. And Warner Media decided that it was worth losing almost $18 million to not have it on TV anymore.
God, wouldn't you have like one season or two seasons? You know, get that mild small contract.
Mm-hmm. And get
I
that
don't know.
$20 million. You better believe
Yeah,
it. That's why I think that there was
which in
something.
today's money is like probably pretty close to 60, 70, 80 million.
Yeah.
And with recent inflation, probably closer to 100 million.
But that's why I just feel like there had to be something behind the scenes where Vince McMahon was able to cut a deal with someone, say, "Hey, listen, if you can work it where I can get this deal for $2 million, you'll have a job at my company, or whatever, or maybe you bought him off. The official deal will be $2 million, but you're also going to get $1 million in personal mama don't know money. You know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Say no more.
Winky, winky.
But I appreciate you saying it was a pretty solid show, Fernando. I do. I don't exactly believe you, but I do. I appreciate you saying it.
I mean, you gotta appreciate having wonderful fans like Fernando.
Well, the thing is, both Fabe and I are running off very little sleep over the last couple days, and not having a third person here always kind of drags it down a bit.
Especially on FBIs.
Especially on FBIs, especially since I was really, really wanting to do another Guess the Wrestler episode.
Someday, buddy. Someday.
So, tell you what, we're gonna do just one round for you before we wrap things up.
Ooh. I asked the
Just one
questions if Fernando can beat me,
Yes.
he gets bragging rights.
Okay.
I have
Fernando,
noticed there's a mild delay in his answers, so it's when we see his answers.
It is. It is. So Fernando, be ready with the typing there. So, 2-minute countdown starts now.
Is this wrestler identified by the audience as a male?
Yes.
Is this wrestler a former world champion?
Give me a second to be certain. I'm gonna say not world champion. No.
Is this wrestler a WWE member?
He did wrestle in the WWE.
Does this wrestler currently wrestle?
No.
Does this wrestler's name was he Attitude Era?
He was during that time period.
Was he in WCW during that time period?
Yes.
Was he a big man, little man?
Yes or no questions, please.
Was he a big man?
Yes.
Is it Kevin Nash?
No.
Was he a member of NWO? Ever?
I do not believe so.
Is it Reese?
No.
Is it Yeti, which is also Reese?
No.
Okay. Just making sure we aren't getting ornery about this. Is this wrestler? There's a big person. Is this wrestler not a former world champion? Big man. WCW, that era. Is it Scott Hall? No, he was in NWO.
Nope.
Did he get it?
Fernando, no.
Okay. Did this wrestler? Is it one of your favorites? No, he was in NWO. Is it Earthquake?
No.
Sure.
Time is up. One final guess.
Well, when I said Earthquake, that would automatically include Shockmaster, so that's probably out too. I'm going to say Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No. Fernando, one last opportunity. No guess from Fernando. I will give one.
Oh, he said Ray
Oh,
Trailer.
Ray
Big Boss
Trailer.
fan.
No, that is a good
Very good guess.
potential choice. I'm gonna give two more hints. One, ECW,
And a big man. Okay.
and Big Man, and then final clue: head tattoo.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
There you go.
Dang.
It was not Mike Awesome, although Mike Awesome would have been an awesome one to have you guys guess.
Shane Douglas was better.
No, Shane Douglas was never the fat chick thriller. I even said that with a straight face. But anyways, on that note, we're gonna wrap things up for this so that we can get some sleep. We will be back on Sunday night with our regular wrestling booking unit. Hopefully everyone joins us there. And then again next Tuesday. But you can support us by joining our Patreon. Just $3 a month supports us that way. You can buy merch like the Pissant Podcast hat, the Raw and Order WBU shirt, the autographed shirt back there, or the one like
Sasha
behind
Bear
him, Sasha Bear. All sorts of stuff there. So you can support us there. You can follow us on the Twitter machines and like social media just in general. I am at Raw and Order WBU pretty much everywhere except for Facebook, where it's at Pissant Podcast. Facebook is weird. You can follow DA Fabe at
D.A. Vincent Kayfabe. That's pretty good. I had to think about it while I was off screen. I could get that just set up before.
And then like you're gonna find links to like JLB's stuff and everything in the doobly doos below. He wasn't here.
And we give him credit, but he's not fucking here.
Yeah, he was.
He got fucked in the
eye. So, and said he had to moisturize it up after getting fucked. So I don't know. Anyways, yep. See you Sunday, Fernando. Thanks for coming.
We are
by.
terrible human beings.
We are really bad. So, but on that note, we're gonna go ahead and close the book on the Fantasy Booking Institute. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Time to do some eye fucking.